Mr. Mark Sillay. He's going to show us how to do his toothpick construction for his finials. Mark, we got you now, buddy. Welcome. You're muted.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me
Now
now?
we got you. Yes, sir.
Okay, Casey. What I want to say first, I'm going to go over and get that sheet. Okay. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to do a sort of an overview on all this. Most of the traditional, can you see all this? Okay, most of the
Yes.
traditional ornaments have a ball or a ball-shaped thing and then a couple finials. Well, most of the time, you make a tenon and then you do a little overcap. That fits down in the overcap, touches the edge of the ball and it makes it look nice and the finial goes up from there. Everybody does that, right? But,
Okay.
Yes.
but here's the problem. What happens if you have an irregular surface that you're trying to make an ornament out of? So what's going to happen? If you put this traditional finial on there, right, and you've got a part of this, if you have the finial up here, right, and an overcap, and a finial on there, you would have gaps, right, where the high and the low was, and it would be wonky. So years ago, what I did is I came up with toothpick technology. So if we have an uneven surface, we've got high and lows. If I take this and I drill a hole through the wood, or a hollow form, then if I do this, if I make a 45-degree angle, on here I've got a high touch and a low touch, right? So I grind this to a 45 and then I do what? Instead of making a finial, we do a 45 and a 45. And now our finial, when we bring it straight down, will always have no gap at the high and no gap at the low. So you can make all kinds of surfaces, bark edges and all that, and put finials on them, and they'll all come out perfectly with no gaps.
How do
Does
you
everybody?
how do you measure your 45 degrees on both ends, Mark?
Well, it's very simple. You take a business card out of your pocket, right? You take a business card, and it's 90 degrees. So, number one, I use a 90-degree countersink to do the wood. I can always take my finials and I can make them with a 45, just hold a card. And you see that right over there? Go straight over it. Okay. So if I make a card this way, I can make a 45, 45.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. So are you guys familiar with McMaster and Carr?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, they have both the 45, 90-degree countersinks, and they also have they also have 45-degree stones. So what we do if we have an irregular surface, I'm just going to take this apart. Okay. See this right here? Okay, so what I didn't glue this one. So what I do is I take, like this has got ridges and grooves and everything. So all we do is we just grind that. Now we've got 45, 45. And if we make our top finial, I can do one, but we end up by having a 45-degree angle on each side, and guess what? It sits right down and the highs and the lows, and there's no gap. Can you get in there and see that?
Yep.
Can you see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a
So
great
it-
idea.
So it makes, and then we put a toothpick in between, because we've got a hole in the bottom finial like this. We put a toothpick in between, and when they're jammed together, right? See, anybody can break a toothpick. It's real simple, but guess what? There's no man on earth that can pull a toothpick apart. So once you have, now you can do this not with just a toothpick, but I do it with dowels and everything on big pieces. Right? So that way, when you, instead of just having a pure ordinary round piece, you can start dealing with all kinds of bark structures, everything else, and really make some interesting pieces. So now that you see the big, I'm going to just take you through the process because I'm not going to take up a lot of time. Okay. I use a 1/4-inch drill. So I buy the countersinks, right? These are made for wood. They've got real sharp blades on them. And so what we do, we take a wooden block and we just, we just push it on. Boom, we make a 45. And guess what? Then we turn it around. We run it down the same hole. So now we've got perfect 45s right on either side. And then what we do is we mount this. Let me take this off. The reason I use 1/4-inch because everybody's got a pen handle. So guess what? You can use a regular bushing, or I just made a couple nylon ones here with a real narrow angle on them so that I can do a lot of different things on them. So we put this in here on the 45. Boom. See how that leaves a space around it? So now I can, make the shape that I want and completely finish it while it's on the mandrel. Right? Put that up and bangity bang. And get it screwed in. So we tighten that up, and then we can put that on there, put our tailstock up there. We can completely shape this and finish it just like a pen. Okay? Makes it real easy. You take it off here. I didn't put the other one on the side. But if you use a regular bushing, it'll jam up in there too. Where's the other? Here it is right here. So that just goes up there and I can completely finish that. I don't need to turn a thing up. I'm just trying to save time. So now, if we make a hollow body, all right, let me put that up above. If we make a hollow body, we do what? We just make a 40, our 45 is right there, and our 45 is right here. If we have a solid body, right? And see that? We can take a solid body, do our 45 and 45. Now we've got our solid body, and it's all finished. Right? Then all we have to do is make our finial. Okay. Well, one thing, after you shape it, right, then we would put a finish on it. I usually just use Perfect because it's so fast and so quick. And if you don't have a buffing system, then just turn around and you can use EEE Ultra Shine, right? And that'll polish up any type of super glue. And if you want to wax it, you can. Everybody get that?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And it's
Okay,
being recorded.
that's good.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're going to take this off. We're assuming we've finished this already. Okay. Now we've got to learn how to attach these finials. I'll just use a little piece. You can use any kind of wood you want for your finials. I'll just put in a little ebony here. Ebony. Okay, we tighten that down. Now we're going to get this out of the way. All right, we're going to pull up our tailstock. Now, do you want to put that thing in the, we're going to put this in a holder up above the.
Okay. We'll go for a ride now.
There
One
we
of
go.
one of many rides tonight.
Okay. And just let us know when it's in the, what you're seeing. Here, wait a minute. In case you take it out, let's slide it down to here. Okay. Wait a minute. You got it the wrong way. Okay, take it down.
We're froze up right now, Mark.
Okay, just a second. Gonna be
Open her up.
okay. Now, when you turn the camera on, you should be able to see.
Yeah, we see you both now. Now flip it around, Casey.
All right.
There we go.
Now, if we leave it down here at the bottom,
Fingers in the way.
Oh, they're just setting up the camera, Matt.
Okay.
okay. Now you can see it, right?
Yes, as long as your finger ain't there.
I'll keep it out.
So, Mark, we have a question, and
Yes.
I'm not sure. Let's see. So the question is, why are the jaws on the chuck taped off? So on your chuck, why do you have them taped off?
Because when I expand the chuck into items, that keeps the metal from scratching it.
Okay.
How's that? Real simple?
Yes, that explains it perfectly. Thank you.
Okay. So right now, what I always do is this. I bring the tailstock up and I make a dimple. See, I made that dimple because we're going to have to drill it for the toothpick. All right? Now the standard toothpick is 5/64. Can you see the toothpick or the drill?
Yes.
Okay. And on small drills, I never use a Jacob's chuck because the tailstock and the headstock may or may not be actually lined up. When you push a drill into the center, it'll automatically center itself. So it's a very accurate way of doing things. Now we got to remember, we're going to make a tenon here. So we've got to drill in a pretty good way because when we cut it off to 45, this part will be in the chuck. Yeah, that should be pretty good. All right, so now we're going to take a parting tool. We're just going to make a little tenon. It doesn't. And it's not sharp. Give me just a second.
That would be African blackwood he's turning, folks.
No, this is Gaboon ebony.
Gabon ebony.
Okay. Yeah, I prefer Gaboon ebony. I can make much finer things with Gaboon ebony or dogwood or pear or apple. They're all very hard and you can get really fine detail with them. I got to turn this around. It's me squinch down on this tenon.
Look at the sheen on that wood.
Oh yeah, gorgeous.
I'm gonna take some of the shorten this up a little bit.
Damn, I gotta follow this. I swear.
Sucker.
We'll mitigate that with a little gallery or like a few gallery items, maybe.
There you go.
You asked for it, Dane.
No, we'll do safety after Mark and then get on with the demo.
Okay.
Okay, now what I'm gonna do is to make it real easy. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna bring the point of my live center back up here. Can you still see it? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, what I've done is I've made a little depression in there. That will center my drill for the eyelet. Because it's hard to put a drill on top of a ball shape. And just a minute, get that. Where's my-
What time did you want to take your next break?
I was gonna go.
What?
Like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're done,
Yeah, whenever I'm done then.
okay.
Can we get that mic muted?
One of the nurses
What?
said that Fred Sutton is gonna be
Oh.
gone soon too.
Okay. I will keep an eye on that. Did you get that washing done? I didn't even look when I came.
Yes, I did. I also did the safe room.
We're gonna come all the way around and make a bead. Oh, that's okay. Now I gotta go the other way. I'm gonna make a disc. I'll make another disc just for humor. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'll just make a long stem. Come the other way. I'm gonna reduce the size of this one just a little bit. Okay, can you see that better?
Yes, sir.
Remember, when you make a cove, the tool always has to end up above the wood. See, if you don't end up above the wood, you get a corner. See that? I'm going above the wood. See that? You always do that. Now we'll start going the other way. All right, we've got this little transition there. Now we've got to do what? We've got to drill. I want to drill up here first before I get it thin down here. We'll turn that down. Where's that? Okay, and this The drill that I drilled the other side for the toothpick was a 5/64. This is a number 57 drill because I'm going to use a gold-plated 8mm by 4mm screw eye. They're gold-plated. They're $5 for 100 on Etsy, and that way you won't have any tarnishing effect whatsoever. Okay, can everybody still see what we're doing?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't. Let me slow that down. So now I have, get my hand. Come on, get in. Let me see. Where I went in before I made that dimple with the tailstock, I didn't make it quite deep enough. There we go. Maybe that'll do it. There we go. There, when you have a dimple, then it'll go straight in. Pull it out. You can still see I still have shakes from the stroke. But you can do this on all kinds of Christmas ornaments. Okay, that's good enough. So right there, can everybody see right there? There's one little line. See that little line? So I'm going to take some 800 sandpaper in there. Now watch what I'm going to do. We never, ever, ever fold our sandpaper when we're going in between shapes. What we do is we use it like dental floss. See that? I stick that in, just come around. There we go. That'll be good. If you fold it, then it'll always put a burn mark in there. Come this way. Come around that way.
Mark, can you explain why not fold it again?
Because it won't go down into the crack.
Right.
It'll always, it's too wide, so it'll put a burn mark.
It'll burn mark and then it'll sand off the nice profile that you made.
Yeah, you wind up with
Christmas.
dull. You don't want to touch your edges with anything but a dental floss. Okay, now right there, you see that tiny line? I don't know if you can see it. There's a tiny line right there. So what I'll do is I'll go in there. Just, that's all we're going to do. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put our business card up above here, and we're going to make the shape of that a 90-degree angle. Okay, I'm going to just rough it up.
No.
And we just let the tool do the work. We hold the tool and we let it eat itself into the wood and we get a good sharp profile. Okay, let's look at the card. Now I'll see if that edge and the bottom edge, not quite 90 degrees, is it? Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Right over the top. So I have to match the top edge and that bottom edge to run parallel to these two sides. Try to take it off a little further. Okay, that looks like it's pretty good. Let's see what we got. That's looking good. Okay, now I need a parting tool. Oh, wait a minute, before we do that, let's go ahead and put, you can buff it, but all I do is I just take a little AAA ultra shine. Okay, there you go. All right. This makes it real simple. Just remember, you never want to put super glue on African blackwood or Gaboon ebony. Because they're oily type wood. And another thing, you never, ever, ever want to touch your fingers to a spinning piece of ebony because it's like a delicatessen bologna cutter. It'll slice you so fast, it's unbelievable. And the thing that we don't want to do is do a lot of sanding because then you absolutely destroy the sharp edges that you've created. Sandpaper rounds them off. I'm doing the best I can with my shaky hand.
No, you're doing fine, Mark. This is excellent. Thank you.
I'm not going to do the bottom finial because I promise you I'd just take a little bit of time. I wouldn't take a lot. Yeah, you can. I love Gaboon ebony. It's just okay. I mean, let me get a dry going. This is Casey Wilson on the camera, folks.
Yes, sir. Already gave him a shout out earlier.
Yeah, He's
Casey's
gonna
the
be-
man.
he's going to be doing a demo up at Woodcraft next month.
Awesome.
So he's getting into the big time.
All right. Well, we got to get him here on Worldwide. That's the big time.
There you go.
Right, Casey?
It is the big time. I agree with you.
That's
Okay.
a sharp finial you got there, Mark.
Well, if you just take your time, it's so much fun with that little. Okay, then we'll put our gold screw eye in there. Okay, and that,
Very good. Enjoy.
and I'm gonna cut it off.
When you go for break, you should shut your door then.
I got her. Heather keeps unmuting herself.
Now, can everybody still see?
Yes, we got your back.
Oh, okay. Now, remember I told you, don't touch ebony? Right, so when I go to cut this off, right, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna, let me turn that speed down a little bit. Okay, let's come up above. Yeah, maybe we can move this camera over here. Can you see that in there, folks?
Yes, sir.
We could.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, then we can take this over. Right to whatever one we're doing here. Then we do this one. You know, we put one on the top. Then we take a finial. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna switch out these two. I've already got the toothpick in this one. Yeah. Any more? Oh, shit. This dropped it. I don't have a toothpick long enough. Okay. Then the toothpicks just join. Before you glue it, you want to make sure that the toothpick, we're going to cut that one shorter. So that make sure that it fits tight before you put the glue in. And then you put them together. I don't even know which one's which.
That collection.
You've got your 45, 45 here. You got your 45, 45 here. And they fit. Any one of them will fit. Yeah. There you go. You can connect it to the bottom one. There you go. And then you have one. That's how to do any of your oddball, stuff like that. And then instead of doing just one that hangs on the tree, then what you can do is you can do little ones. That's my hand. I said, we'll put the white behind it. There you go. Now this one had a smooth body. So what I did
Yeah.
is it has a smooth body, so I put a regular finial on it with an overcap because my jaws will go down to 3/8. So I drilled a 3/8 hole through the whole piece of wood, right? And then you can hold it and cut it off and do all the finial on the stand and all that. So I can stand up, you know. Oh, let me get these shavings off. There you go. I got dust on the bottom. There we go.
Ham, look at that.
That is beautiful, Mark.
Here's another
Wow.
little one.
So
Now,
pretty. Oh my God, so pretty.
I did those two pieces. I split a bottle stopper blank in half, so I got two pieces out of it.
Beautiful.
That is. It's just beautiful.
Here's a piece of spectre ply as a hanger.
Look
It's just
at that.
any little scrap, but this is done toothpick technology. So when you do toothpick technology, the 45 come up, it comes up a little bit. And then it's done
That's a good
tooth-
idea. That's
right?
a good
And
idea.
then- Good.
That's a good idea.
Here's another little piece of spectre ply. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Look at that.
It's just a lot of fun.
Beautiful.
So
Take your lip
if
out of
you
your
have
mouth,
little,
Sue.
What's that?
if you have little
No, this
strips,
is for. Never mind. Go ahead, Mark.
okay, if you have little scraps, then you can always hollow them out. Right, but do your 45. Oop, that one went down too. Right, and finish them, and you can have fun. And then another thing you can do, if you have something big, right, if you need a 45, just cut a piece of wood, make this 90-degree angle, and glue sandpaper on it to do the big, like Alfonso mushrooms and stuff like that.
Cool.
And then you can always practice on your 2x4s. These are for the kids to paint.
God, outstanding, Mark.
If you make these little ones here, I'm just going to show you. The kids like to color ice cream cones, but you can make any shape you want. There's your discs. You can do discs on a 2x4, pretty nice. And then just little snowman and things like that. And I don't sand these things. I just let the kids paint them with the Crayola markers.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And if anybody has any further questions, give me a call. I can always do FaceTime. And thank you very, very much, Dane, for allowing me.
Oh, you're welcome, Mark. Anytime, sir.
The guy,
Thanks
Tommy
for the
Schultz
lesson, Mark.
talking.
Does anybody have any questions for Mark while we've got him live?
No, just to say thank you so much.
Yeah,
That
Mark.
was-
Yes, thank you, Mark.
yeah, really.
I have
thank you.
one question for Mark.
Go ahead.
Yeah, lately I've been watching some of his demos from like I think it's the Gwinnett wood turners. They're from quite a few years ago. Is there a
Slicing.
compilation or something? Because that was a lot of really good information. It was your slicing techniques.
Yeah, he's got a 4-part series on that with Gwen Leonard.
Okay, I was just wondering if it was compiled anywhere or
No.
you just that their YouTube channel is the best place to find it.
Yeah, unless Mark or Casey can clarify on that. As far as I know, it's just a 4-part series with the group there in Georgia.
Okay.